than just a bedroom community. From veterans of foreign wars to hometown heroes, our diversity is our strength, and we forge our future with the same flame as our steel. Oh, there's a place in the Midwest, and it's calling you home. The best part of Portage is what's next. The best part of Portage is you. There's more for you in Indiana. There's a place in the Midwest, 50 miles southeast of Chicago, nestled near the coast of Lake Michigan. It's a place driven by what's coming next, a place where industry is the lifeblood of its community, and its pulse is gritted with sand and steel, fire and smoke. It's a city building its future together, one business, one family, and one home at a time. This is a place for makers, doers, and dreamers. It's where the global marketplace meets hometown values, where Americana isn't just a tradition, it's a way of life. Here, your experience makes the difference. With access to railroads, major waterways, and 8 different highways, this is a place in motion, sending goods, services, and ideas not just across the state, but across the world. And when the work ends, the day's just beginning. With beaches like West Beach in the Indiana Dunes National Park, exciting hiking and biking trails like the Diana of the Dunes Dare or the BMX track, and local treasures and exciting festivals, you'll know you're in more than just a bedroom community. From veterans of foreign wars to hometown heroes, our diversity is our strength, and we forge our future with the same flame as our steel. Oh, there's a place in the Midwest, and it's calling you home. The best part of Portage is what's next. The best part of Portage is you. There's more for you in Indiana. There's a place in the Midwest, 50 miles southeast of Chicago, nestled near the coast of Lake Michigan. It's a place driven by what's coming next, a place where industry is the lifeblood of its community, and its pulse is gritted with sand and steel, fire and smoke. It's a city building its future together, one business, one family, and one home at a time. This is a place for makers, doers, and dreamers. It's where the global marketplace meets hometown values, where Americana isn't just a tradition, it's a way of life. Here, your experience makes the difference. With access to railroads, major waterways, and 8 different highways, this is a place in motion, sending goods, services, and ideas not just across the state, but across the world. And when the work ends, the day's just beginning. With beaches like West Beach in the Indiana Dunes National Park, exciting hiking and biking trails like the Diana of the Dunes Dare or the BMX track, and local treasures and exciting festivals, you'll know you're in more than just a bedroom community. From veterans of foreign wars to hometown heroes, our diversity is our strength, and we forge our future with the same flame as our steel. Oh, there's a place in the Midwest, and it's calling you home. The best part of Portage is what's next. The best part of Portage is you. There's more for you in Indiana. There's a place in the Midwest, 50 miles southeast of Chicago, nestled near the coast of Lake Michigan. It's a place driven by what's coming next, a place where industry is the lifeblood of its community, and its pulse is gritted with sand and steel, fire and smoke. It's a city building its future together, one business, one family, and one home at a time. This is a place for makers, doers, and dreamers. It's where the global marketplace meets hometown values, where Americana isn't just a tradition, it's a way of life. Here, your experience makes the difference. With access to railroads, major waterways, and 8 different highways, this is a place in motion, sending goods, services, and ideas not just across the state, but across the world. And when the world
Mr. Jackson?
Present.
Mr. Simpson?
Here.
Mr. Fleming? Mr. Burhans?
Here.
Ms. Lesko? Mayor Bonta? Mr. Little? Attorney Dogan?
All right, move on to approval of minutes last meeting.
Make a motion to approve minutes for last meeting.
Second.
You got first, second, any discussion? Okay. All in favor of passing the minutes from the last meeting, say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, minutes pass. The treasurer's report, Ron?
The marina operating funds as of March 31st, 2025 is $279,596.65. The Port Authority funds as of March 31st, 2005 is $114,064.11.
All right, noted. All in favor of passing the minutes, or excuse me, the treasurer's report, say aye.
Aye.
We need a motion, sorry. Back
Motion to
up, we need-
approve is read.
Need a second? Got that? Now, all in favor of passing the treasurer's report, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Move on to claims.
Motion to approve the claims.
Second.
Okay, we got first, second, discussion on claims. All in favor of passing claims, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Claims passes. Moving on to committee reports. Legal.
Yes, President Fleming, thank you. Yesterday, there was a hearing held on the quiet title action, and after some deliberation and argument, the order of quiet title was approved in all respects. So I will hand it to Secretary Perez, who can hand it to you.
That's great news.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Anything further I need to do at this point?
No, sir. It's been approved by the court. It's filed with the clerk's office, and I think we're done.
Right now, we have,
Yeah, it should be free, well, it is free and clear title, and it's also all of the other parcels. Some were underwater, and some were adjacent to some of the Westerman property. You know, there were quite a few parcels actually involved, but yes, the ones you described are some of them, yes.
All right, good news. Thanks, Tom. Anything else?
No, that's all for legal.
Okay. Marina facility, Barb is not here tonight. She did give a report. I'll read that report in. In March, the launch ramp was busy with a total of 754 daily launch tickets sold. It did say 750 daily launch tickets sold. That's quite high. We sold a total of 25 season passes in March. Maintenance repairs are ongoing. Gangway on H-Dock has been reinforced as requested. New finger piers are being installed as weather allows and manpower is available. There are 2 remaining finger piers to be installed. Bathrooms are being cleaned and will be open April 15th. Water to the docks will be turned on April 16th as a few nights of freezing temps are predicted. Dock inspection is ongoing with boards being replaced when needed. The trees and old docks have been removed from the gravel lot. Thank you to the street department crew. Maintenance will be cutting down the scrub trees remaining and will do general cleanup around the perimeter of the gravel lot. Slip payments in March, $86,000 compared to March of '24 at $47,000. So collections are up. Daily launches in '25 are $6,786 compared to last year of $2,700, also significantly up. Open slips on A dock or A through D docks, 24 open slips. Highly unusual to have 25-foot open slips. I've reached out to most of the customers that have forfeited their slip and the consensus is they didn't take the boat enough times to warrant the dock expenses. F, G, H, and K docks are full, no slips open. I and J docks have 8 open slips, which has been the case nearly every year on the 35-foot docks. And lastly, the street department will be patching several areas of blacktop around the marina. The street department will take care of all marina mowing needs along with edging and grass removal of clippings this year. That is the report from the harbor master. All right, move on to safe.
One question I do have on that, and maybe Dan, you can help. Which finger piers are left to be done? Okay.
How flotation docks does them now, there's posts on both sides. Some of them on K-Dock, we're gonna end up having to decide if the boats are too wide, but we got 2 more to put in actually on the ramp. One is floating on K-Dock, but we gotta sink it a little bit in order to get it down to significantly higher, 2, 3, 4 inches. So we gotta get it down, get the bolts in. But A through D were fairly easy, and just, we're obviously springtime, so we got a lot of progress. They'll be answered.
Okay, thanks.
All right, moving on to safety. Dave?
I had a friend of mine who owns Timeless Aerial Photography drone all paths of what we cover on the ditch. The only concern I saw from any of the videos is that big part of that chunk of that steel bridge is separated. It's almost in the waterway now, and I'm not sure whose responsibility that is. Right across from Kurtz Miller's place. It's not obviously his, but that's where they disintegrated that bridge. And it is a massive pile of iron, I'm guessing.
That's what I talked to you about last week, or last night. That's the city property. It caved in 4 or 5 years ago, but now that the water's so low, you can see it.
It's definitely a hazard down there, but the city's informed about it.
I just mentioned it the other day, because I just seen it, but it was already after the evening.
Okay.
It was brought up on Monday, recommendations. Bring the city personnel in to evaluate. That'd be the next steps, I assume.
The only downfall, as I'd say, is it's in the middle of the waterway just about, so it might fall under Port Authority.
I would imagine that would take a heavy piece of machinery to extract that.
Which bridge?
That's the old landing, on the south side, southeast side of 249, before you go into Kurtz.
Okay.
There's Marine Drive or whatever that is to the right. It used to be a landing zone, there was a little shack.
Right.
Well, 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago, it caved in, and now the water's so low, we can see it protruding in there.
Is this
Dave-
the old,
Dave, can we see that by driving there and walking to it?
after you go underneath, 249?
If you're going up towards the Ike Sound. Yeah. I got a picture of it, I gotta find it.
All right, so I'm looking at a picture of it here. It is clearly exposed, probably 8, 10 feet from the shoreline.
Yeah, you can still go around.
You can get around it.
Yeah, fine. In the next couple of weeks, we would type the figures.
So this is on the south side of the waterway?
Yes.
So,
Say you're going towards our marina,
You're going towards the basin, and you go past the bridges right there. So anything east of the bridge is going to have to pass that.
okay, so
yeah.
you described it as an old bridge. Isn't this part of those old docks, the lift docks? Not necessarily the bridge?
This would be Scott DeVol, not DeVol, who's on it's DeVol's property, I believe.
Yeah, back when they used to have docks where they could lift the boats would be lifted out of the water, and that got all,
Just before that. So technically, if you're on 249 Bridge with the creek, and Westerman's and Noyes is on your left, and Westerman's is over here, is main warehouse, just on this side of the creek. So it's to the right.
Yeah.
The Family Express side, and you can see it. It's the old landing, people used to fish it. We put up the barriers 5, 6 years ago, give or take, 'cause it was withstanding, but it was always underwater. And now that the water's low, you can actually see it. It's still navigable for sure, but let the market decide. It's gonna take something heavy.
right, okay, thank you.
All right, well,
So,
maybe the three of
Danny?
us get together and go see this and bring other resources in as we need to
Perhaps you
evaluate.
shouldn't mark that either, Danny, only because whoever marks it, I was informed by Mr. Dogan, Attorney Dogan, that you now become the liable one.
Well, that can be true. I mean, this is why the inland wall and the USX wall are not marked. Once you mark it with lights, if a light goes out, you're liable. And that's actually why they're not marked. Now, I don't know that that would apply to this. I think if you mark this, that wouldn't make you liable if someone, whacks into it. That being said, I think it would generally be a good idea to mark it in some way. If you can put a ball on it or a light on it or something, I can't imagine that would cause liability. This isn't a wall after all, it's.
Okay,
But I did have a question. Is that actually navigable water in that it's deep enough for a boat to traverse it? Or is this close enough to the side that it's 4 inches deep? Then I wouldn't worry so much about marking it.
Your middle of the river right there is about 12 feet, and you still have 50 feet between, maybe 30.
Then I would,
Still-
then I
it's
would
in the
consider
way.
marking it, yeah.
But at night, yeah.
I'd worry about somebody some idiot in a dinghy at night going 30 miles an hour and whacking into it,
sure. Again, recommendation, maybe Dave, Danny, and I would be a thought. Anybody else want to go look at it? We can set a time, get down there, evaluate, put an action plan together, and determine what we got to do. And because it's in the waterway, it's probably falls under our responsibility.
You might want to confer with I was going to say the Coast Guard, but since they're gone, the DNR, maybe, and ask what they would advise, if they even have any input.
We can potentially go that way too. Let's get our eyes on it and make a determination. Again, I'll reach out to you guys and anybody else. Let me know. Carl, if you want to join. Tomorrow, maybe? That good? First next week? Okay.
I'll let you guys figure it out. And then
Tomorrow, the earlier, the better for me. But Monday Monday all the way through whenever I'm free.
Okay. All right. Thinking my schedule too, most likely I'll reach out to you guys for a Monday. Let's do it that way, okay? Dave, anything else on safety at this time?
Nothing else.
Danny, that one log that we saw near the new fishing pier, you got a plan on that?
Yeah, I'm gonna get that out, but I got the one finger that's halfway done on KDOT. I got the finger tied up as well right now.
All right, well, that's good, that's on the schedule, and we haven't heard of any others at this time, but we'll react as we do. All right, planning and development. Give a statement here. Matt Kaiser's not in attendance. He had another meeting, but two updates. Fishing pier, construction is 100% complete. Trail Source is in Ohio on another project for a few weeks. We will do a complete review and create a punch list of items if noted. They will address any items on their way back through. They have submitted invoices for $61,000, which has been paid. And the one from tonight, there is an invoice that you all should have in your packet for another portion of payment, $52,200. Once formally accepted, they will invoice for the remainder of $34,800, likely for the May meeting. So tonight, we do need to review their invoicing, open it up for any questions, and we do need a motion on approving.
Has anybody from the board actually been down there to see it?
Yeah, I've been there multiple times and walked it, reviewed it, discussed with them the punch list that Matt is leading, and he assures me that everything will be confirmed, but it sure looks good. It's actually very impressive how they made that into that landscape, and that property now has that sitting on it and usage of such. Okay, we need a motion. Can have further discussion.
Motion to approve?
Need a second? Okay, do we or do we not have a second?
You got the second.
Any discussion?
So you said when was the last, you said you've been down there, great. When was the last, have you seen it since they said they pulled out and they're 100%
Yeah,
done?
Monday, I was there, and Monday night they were pulling out.
No, Buddy said he had a conversation with too.
I encourage you guys all to go down there and take a look at it. We've not officially opened it to the public. We will have some official opening. We're going to do some landscaping around there and a few other items, but extremely solid, very accessible. They've made all the adjustments that they committed to. It's, again, very well positioned. Any other discussion?
I know part of this, the original plan for this, when we had the separate grants, the parking lot was part of the fishing pier. Have they given us any timeline for when that will be done, so that way that whole side will be completely done?
Next item I'm going to read in from Matt is in regards to the fish cleaning station. I believe it references the parking lot, but our discussion with Hassie on Monday was that that would be first priority, because we want to complete that as they begin the fish cleaning station project.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? All in favor of passing the invoice for Trail Source, say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Abstain.
Okay. Motion passes. Next statement from Matt's regarding fish cleaning station, says we had a pre-construction meeting with Hassey Construction. That was Thursday, April 3rd. They are mobilizing, would likely be starting construction in the next couple weeks. They will be coordinating with us, Matt, Barb, Dan, for staging, locations, and needs in the next week or two. Construction is expected to occur spring and summer, with final component, the fish cleaning table grinder, to be installed last. The long lead time for fabrication and delivery has been expressed by the manufacturer. Hassey is working to see about an alternative fabricator to help elevate the timeline and possible increase due to the schedule. So that is Matt's comments. I will share with you that the table is, the grinder gets integrated into the table, so there's been discussion around, is there any other table manufacturer that knows that grinder? So most likely we'll stick with the manufacturer for the purpose of the integration of the grinder, and they do this, they specialize in such. That's about a 20-week lead time leading us into September. Prior to that, we expect everything to be completed, inclusive of any parking areas, and ready for the final install. So we hope to be up by late September and that fully functioning. Again, that's Matt's report for tonight. Any other planning, development, or comments? Move on to old business. Anything under old business?
Yeah, I wanted to bring up, last meeting, the board did approve to approve spending funds for the additional 37,000 that we were over budget. But we did not necessarily specify which fund it was going to come out of. So at this point in time, I'd like to make a motion that this 37K over budget comes out of the Port Authority fund.
I'll second.
Thank you. Some additional information here, and reasons why I'm saying this. This fish cleaning station and the fishing pier are going to be public. It's not necessarily tied to the Marina Fund. The Marina Fund should be for the docks and the structures down there. Also, it was on Port Authority meeting November 9th, 2023. We raised the slip fees down at the dock. Initially, we just talked about a $5 increase. As we talked more through it, we actually made the motion that finalized and was approved that the $5 extra would all go to the Port Authority. So that additional, for every launch right now, there's $5 going only to the Port Authority. Prior to this, the Marina Fund was used, the Marina Fund was used for improvements to the launch area. So we took money from the Marina Fund and it made improvements on the asphalt as well as new docks down there. So that I was fully agreement in that. So we were using Marina funds to improve the marina. So what I'm saying right now is we should be using the Port Authority funds that we're generating for that, because not only is it our marina that's going to be using it, the Ikes are going to be using it, Zach's can use it, anybody that's in and out can use it. So it truly is a public thing, and I don't think it should be a burden on the Marina Fund.
Any discussion on this? I think the marina is also public, so we could correlate it to exactly such, to serve the public. No, we did not discuss where exactly the funds would come from, and you bring that up as such.
But as I've stated,
public entities.
As I've stated before, the Marina Fund, the revenue generated that goes into the Marina Fund year over year, 90% of that money is from slip fees. And that's historically year over year. So that money needs to stay to fix the piers that we need. We just replacing finger piers. We've got full docks that we need. So that money needs to stay there. Last year, we also replaced the seawall. We've got lots of other infrastructure that needs to be improved. So that's why I'm saying the Marina Fund should be used for those purposes, and the Port Authority Fund, which is for the public, and everybody pays for that. Every boater pays into the Port Authority Fund. So that's where I'm saying that that money should be used for a public project that everybody can use.
Tom, from a legal perspective, any input there?
I think you have full discretion to do what he suggests or not.
All right, then let's move to a vote. All in favor of taking the funds from the the Port Fund, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, then that's the action we'll take. All right, other old business. And we'll move on to new business. Anything from the board on new business? All right, one item in new business is a request for an inflatable rescue boat from the Portage Fire Department. Do we have somebody here? Okay. If you would, for this, come up to the microphone and give us your name and position and what your purpose is.
My name is Todd Laux. I'm one of the members on the Portage Fire Department Water Rescue Team. I'm kind of here on behalf of the team leaders, Lieutenant Chris Alexander and Captain Andy Hyman. As you guys might or might not know, our main fireboat, Marine One, is out of service. It's actually in Virginia, having a lot of work done on it. We secured a port security grant last year to help basically refurbish it. So it is in Portsmouth, Virginia, at Lake Assault Boats. That is the manufacturer of the boat. They actually shifted their warranty work and repair work out there, so that's why I went there instead of their main factory up in Wisconsin. But we were hoping to have the boat back this month sometime before the unofficial start of boating season. Unfortunately, there's been delay after delay, and the latest they told us is that it would not be finished until the end of June. So that kind of puts us in a pickle. We have a wave runner that we can respond to calls with, but obviously we're limited on how many personnel we can put on that. Safely 2, and then we can recover or rescue a third person with that. Our dive team leader, Lieutenant Alexander, had reached out to Barb, the harbor master, with a idea of trying to get an inflatable rescue boat. We've been trying to get one for several years for multiple reasons. And basically, the thought process, this would kind of help alleviate not having the main fireboat right now, but it could be used for a multitude of things. As you guys are kind of aware, the fireboat is limited to where it can go. We have been down the channel, but we're kind of limited to how far we can go with that just because of the draft and how big it is. This rescue boat would be able to get it anywhere. It would be able to get into the fingers in the docks easier. It would be able to respond to calls on some of the inland water that we have, Lake Dombey, the lake at the campground, which obviously we don't have any means of getting out into the lake except to swim out there. So basically, it would kind of serve a bunch of purposes, not just responding until we get our main boat back. We got a couple quotes. Lieutenant Alexander actually sent one to Barb from Inmar. And then I got another one for the same boat. It's basically a 14-foot inflatable rescue boat with an aluminum floor. And we would be able to deploy divers off of it. We'd be able to do rescues, surface water rescues with it. We would be able to ferry divers out into the lake. And then, like I said, we would be able to do things where that larger boat cannot get to. So it wouldn't be just, like I said, used in place of that big boat. It would be used in addition to that. We are kind of out of, I guess if you want to say, out of money. Our administration basically told us they had no more money. We had to make some changes to our grant just to finish the work on the boat. You know, we reached out to FEMA, where we got the grant from, and they were not able to help us with anything. So we're kind of out of options, and we would like to, you know, basically have something in place until that boat comes back, but also be able to use it, and use it, you know, for multiple reasons, like I said. I don't know if you guys have a copy of that, that estimate that Lieutenant Alexander submitted to Barb. I have it here, I could pass it to you guys, and then I also have another one from another company as well, so.
We do have copy in our packets here from Inmar Marine.
Yeah, and I have the other one. I know you guys don't have that copy. I could give that to you to pass along. I didn't make copies. This was kind of a last-minute one that I got.
Your first choice is this?
That is the first one we had. This one is actually a little bit cheaper, might be a better route to go. They're the same exact boats. This one is from All Hands Fire Equipment. It's basically a dealer that deals with all kinds of fire and rescue equipment that the city and the fire department have an account with. They are actually able to get us a better deal on the boat. So I know when it comes down to cost, if we can get the best deal, it's the same exact boat. The only difference is the Inmar quote has a fuel tank with it. This one does not. That would be something that they would package with a motor that we have worked out a deal with Lake Assault that's doing the refurbishment work to cover that. So basically, we're just asking to cover the cost of the inflatable boat itself. So I can.
Okay, yeah, if you have a copy of that, we'd like to see it and like to open it up for questions.
I just have a brief question, and I'm
Yeah.
technically a non-voting liaison to the Port Authority from the City Council. So it makes me sad to know that you don't have the money for the boat, but at the same time, once this boat is hypothetically purchased, and then the boat that's currently in Virginia comes back, will you have the storage capacity for this boat?
Yeah, this boat would stay on a trailer. It would be available for all calls, all water rescue related calls. It would benefit us greatly because, like I told you, we have no means to traverse out into the water for a call, let's say on Lake Dombey or over at the campground where we have a lot of our drownings. We've had some calls back in the day where we've had to have civilian boats take our divers out in the middle of the water. So it would benefit us in that way. It would definitely benefit us currently because we don't have the main fire boat. So we would be able to respond to calls in the marina, along the waterway at Portage Lakefront. You know, without a boat right now, we can't do that. We just have the wave runner and that's it. It would also benefit us, if we need to get into tight spaces in the marina, the basin right now. We can't really do that with the fireboat. If we have to, if there's a boat fire or something like that, we can get in there. But if it was a rescue or we had to put divers in besides walking out onto the docks, that's the only way we're going to be able to access it. So it would help out. I actually, back in the day, Danny knows, I was one of the divers that helped with the bubbler system, and that's how we did it. We walked out onto the docks and then, deployed in the water, and we had to swim to where we needed to go. So this would have made that job even easier and quicker to do, but, that's a different story there. So, but it would be utilized in a lot of different ways. We did send a good majority of our water rescue team to South Bend a few years ago to Indiana River Rescue School. So we have a good majority that are certified as swiftwater rescue technicians. We didn't have a boat. Up until now, we don't have a boat to do swiftwater. We don't obviously have much swiftwater here, but we also were trained in floodwater rescue. Same thing. We didn't have a boat, so we were trained, we had the certifications, we have some of the other equipment, but we didn't have a boat to execute any kind of rescues if it ever happened. If we had this boat, we would be able to do that. We also have a few, including myself, that went through surface water rescue, which is different than diving. Our plan is to get the rest of the team those certifications this summer as well. One of the things in there is utilizing an inflatable boat to make surface water rescues. So it would benefit our team. We would basically be able to respond to any type of water-related incident, whether it's along the waterway, in the marina, or out at the lakefront.
Very
Sir,
good, thank you.
I just have it's more of a engineering question, I guess, than a legal question, but it seems like both the estimates are for a boat that requires a short shaft engine.
Correct.
And then there's some lettering, but I don't see an engine on either estimate, so maybe you already have an outboard engine, or they're going to throw one in?
We do
or-
not.
Okay.
We have, with the fireboat that's at Lake Assault, they have agreed to work out a deal for the engine, so we're not asking for an engine to be purchased to go along with this. We're basically just asking for the vessel itself.
I see, but that's in the plan? Because
Yes,
you'd have to
yes.
have an engine.
Yes, it will have an engine, 30 horsepower outboard motor with a fuel tank. And then we're trying to find a trailer to trailer it. But that would be the plan. It would not sit in the water. It would be trailered to the calls. And, obviously, if a call came in right now, the only thing we have to respond with is the wave runner.
And then I'm sure the board would want to know, how do you plan to fund the engine and the trailer?
Right, so the engine would be funded through Lake Assault. They're working out a deal with us on that there, so.
Well, but what I'm sure the board would want to know is who's going to pay for those items? Because those are going to, generally, I think the engine's going to cost as much as the boat almost, or close
We're
to it.
looking at about $5,000 for the engine with the fuel tank. So the old motors, that was one of the things being changed out on the fireboat, were the outboard motors. They have agreed to give us credit for those outboard motors. In exchange for that credit, they would purchase this outboard motor and fuel tank for this boat.
I understand, okay.
Yeah, they can't actually give us cash for it, so.
Other questions for this request?
Yeah, thank you for coming, and thank you for all the work that you guys do down there. Question I had,
Yeah.
obviously you're coming to us asking for money. During your time up here, you mentioned like Fingers at Marina Shores, the campground, Lake Dombey, traveling to calls. Have you gone to anybody else to ask for funds that you would be possibly using this boat at?
We have searched out some other places and we've been turned down. I do not have those other places as I was not the one. I can tell you the only way that we got the fireboat to be refurbished is to get the port security grant. I'm actually the one that worked on that to kind of wrote the grant. We were kind of lucky to get that. One of the main reasons why I think we were approved for that, we cover the Port of Indiana. That is a federal port, and that is a federal grant. So we got the boat in the first place through that grant, and then we got that funding there. But we've reached out to our admin. We were kind of told to seek other ways. We were also informed in the past, the Port Authority has helped us out with some cost, so we kind of reached out to you guys. That was kind of one of the reasons why we reached out.
For any new member here, in the past, the fire department always inspected our bubbling systems. So they put time and effort into that, and through that, then there has been prior times that we have given monies and helped with certain purchases. So our past history says that we have supported them, and obviously they support our waterway, so take that into consideration.
Yeah, I think I know I was on it, the channel markers, we kind of helped pull a few of those up for you guys a few years ago, and some of the lights that were on there. So, I mean, we've helped out where we could, so we're just kind of in that need now is for a little help with this watercraft.
So now, in addition to the things that you mentioned, you also just mentioned Port of Indiana. So obviously, they may have some source of funding too. My question to you, I assume you're coming here hoping that we would approve all of this. If we were to approve a portion of it, do you have other sources that you could say, well, we've already got half the funding, can you help us out as well?
The only thing that we have been guaranteed is that money for the motors from the company that is doing the renovation work on the boat. That's the only other money that we have been guaranteed. We did reach out to the port. I reached out to the port for help with the fireboat grant, and I was kind of turned down with that, even though it's our responsibility to protect them both medically out there and fire related. They turned us down for any kind of support.
For the input to the board here, this second invoice is for a total of $84.45.25. I can pass it down for everybody to see. So it is slightly less than the first invoice.
Okay, this one wasn't in our package?
No, it was not. It was provided tonight.
Ferdinand, I know you've already mentioned that you're sorry the city doesn't have the money, but is there, once again, if this body put in partial, is there anything from the city that they could do to help out?
I can't speak for the whole council. Off the top of my head, I would say no. And that's probably where I'd leave it.
I can tell you that there is a portion of that port security grant that the city, we still have to pay. It was a 75-25% match. So that's why we were told that there was no money through our administration, because there's a considerable amount of money that still has to be paid to finish that port security grant to satisfy that city's portion.
I don't want to speak out of turn, but how would the argument
I have not been told anything.
we-
So I'm, like I said, I'm kind of just the rep was asked to come and talk, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. All right. Any further questions? Obviously, there's a request. We do have some past history of providing support to the fire department. There is a 3-month gap until you get your big boat back?
So the last they had told us was the end of June. The other thing that comes into play, besides upgrading the motors, we're upgrading all the electronics, so sonar, radar, FLIR, chart plotter. So there is going to be some training involved before we're proficient to respond to a call with that. So we're hoping that it's done before the end of June, but that was the latest that they gave us, was the end of June before it would be finished.
And I was told that the DNR's boat is out of commission in Michigan City, is that correct?
In our marina, it's some 2 days ago. They're small boat? They're bringing a new one next Wednesday.
Yeah.
I took a half day and we got about 2.5 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, and to give you an idea, I'm kind of the liaison with the Coast Guard. I kind of set up a lot of training with them last year. So to give you an idea of responses with the Coast Guard, they are there in Michigan City. They work a 40-hour week. So instead of being there 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, they're there 40 hours a week. Holidays, they will bring extra staff or they might work extra hours. Basically, Portage is the dividing point of how they respond when the Coast Guard station is not staffed in Michigan City. Anything to the east of basically our break wall, where we enter into the channel, anything to the east of that, a boat will come from St. Joe, Michigan, which takes roughly an hour to get here. Anything to the west of that comes from Chicago. So we are actually the only fireboat on the southern tip of Lake Michigan without having, we obviously don't have the fireboat, but there are a couple other boats out there that could respond. But it does kind of leave us vulnerable not having a boat to respond to some calls, especially if it's happening right in our backyard there.
If I can add to that, at our Lake Michigan Yachting Association meeting Saturday, I learned from Gabe Lind, who works with them through the auxiliary in St. Joe, that their ultimate plan is to withdraw from even St. Joe. That is not going to be manned anymore eventually. And I think she told me that all of Lake Michigan, sector Lake Michigan, is going to be unmanned eventually, which
Yeah, I
is
have not heard that
unbelievable.
yet,
But in the new administration, that's what's going on, so.
As far as Lake Michigan goes, your main concern is to cover the smaller lakes and with this
It would do
watercraft.
everything. So we originally, the proposal was to find another means to respond to calls within the waterway, within the marina and the lakefront until we get the fireboat back. But we would be able to utilize this boat for a multitude of things. So multiple scenarios, whether it's on the lake being trailered, we could take it where it needs to go. But ultimately, that's what the purpose would be until that fireboat comes back. But I didn't want you guys to think that once the fireboat comes back, this boat's just gonna sit there. This boat will be able to be utilized in a lot of different ways.
I have a question.
We're not taking it from the public right now. Continue, any questions up here? Obviously,
I know we mentioned, it was mentioned about the RDC. I mean, do we give them time to reach out to them too also to see, maybe help us cut the costs or? Is that a possibility or no?
Can anyone speak on that, and what would the timeline be?
I believe RDC is pretty much, got that on doing right now with, fire equipment and police equipment that they are already helping purchase this.
Everybody hear that?
Yeah, I heard it.
When is the next RDC meeting?
That would be the 24th.
Okay. But if Virginia is correct, then the answer is already such. Any further questions? Obviously, the new quote that come in is in a better position. First quote, we've identified the needs that are open and the concerns we have. We have a past history of supporting the fire department. Obviously, I would prefer to see the fire department either have the funds or the city be able to step up outside us, but it appears that's been exhausted. Anyone want to make a motion to support this purchase? Okay, anyone?
I'm sorry, but I can't, I'm not going to make a motion right now. According to this report, we've got a highly unusual amount of slips open, so we're going to be lower than normal on our marina funds, and once again, if we do move forward with this, I would strongly recommend it would only come out of the Port Authority funds, because as he stated, this is not just a marina, a device for the marina, it's for all the waterways. But I can't, basically, on knowing where we're at with funds and what we have to spend, I'm sorry, I can't make a motion to move forward.
Okay. Anyone else want to make a motion to move forward?
I think it's important, and I don't want anybody, not being able to be, have a rescue. At the same time, I'm looking at the funding, and I don't want to hurt. I don't know what we've done in the past. Like you said, I'm a new member, so I'm not really sure exactly what we've done in the past. So definitely don't want to leave anybody hanging. I just don't know how to split the baby there,
Past support has been anywhere between 5 and 10, based upon what the specific need was at that time.
And so this is a process I do on the city council is, try to ask the question, can we afford it? So based on the Port Authority budget, marina budget, if the $9,000 expense or the $8,400 expense is deducted, will we still be in a position to be sufficient, or would that be detrimental? And perhaps without Barb being here or without the mayor being here, we're a little bit behind. But that would be my question, is can we afford it? And if so, then that's how we proceed. But I remind you, I'm a non-voting member, so.
He makes a great point, because, that's pretty much where I was trying to go with that. If we don't have the powers to actually state that, I'm not neglecting it. I do want to support it. I'm just not sure exactly how that's going to hurt us or not hurt us. So, if we get those answers, I'm more willing to help out with that.
Isn't it a possibility, have you thought about fundraisers, an event, anything? It shouldn't be too hard to, local supporters, anything?
We have reached out. We do get some money from like the American Legion. Whatever money that we have gotten by reaching out to different organizations has pretty much gone to repair equipment and keep that going. And I can tell you, I've been on the team for almost 12 years. we still have equipment that's over 20 years old that we're diving with. So it's hard for us to purchase any new equipment whatsoever, even reaching out to those people that have given us money in the past, so.
Okay. Well, with where we're at tonight, obviously, we don't have the motions on the floor to move forward. I'm going to speak to the mayor about this. We might ask you to come back next month.
Okay,
Okay?
yep. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Other item under new business was the trail source invoice. We've already taken care of that. Any other new business tonight? With that, then, we are going to move on to adjournment tonight. I do ask going forward that all public input is requested, and we'll put you on no new business as an item. So that is the way we'll handle public input for this point going forward. So put your request in, we'll add you to the agenda, and at this point, I ask for a motion to adjourn.
Prior to making that motion, how, can you explain how they would, anybody from the public would have to go about getting on their docket?
Virginia, can you request or take those requests?
I would take the request since I do the agendas. You just send me an email stating your topic of concern, and I will put it on the agenda accordingly.
Is that how other boards do it?
Other boards do not have public input. I know for a fact that none of the other agendas within the city have a topic for public input.
Obviously, the city council does, but none of the other boards.
Correct.
All right, with that, motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, heard first, second.
Second.
Meeting is adjourned.